Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on This Is Just the Beginning. I hope you guys are well, and I know it's been a while since I've recorded an episode, but I'm back today. And I know I said that I'd get back to a proper schedule with posting an episode every Wednesday. However, it's been a very busy week trying to get that together, so we're going to start again from now on a Sunday. And I know that's going to be a bit annoying that I've changed days, but that's what we're going to do from now on. I thought I'd start today by just giving kind of a recap on where I am right now. And for those of you that don't know, I'm currently taking a break from university. I'm having a year out. I've just finished my second year, and I was meant to go on a year abroad to Berlin and Valencia for my kind of third year placement year with my course in languages. However, I've decided not to go, mainly because of my current, anxiety issues, and my mental health isn't where I want it to be, even though I do preach a lot to you guys that mental health is key, mindfulness is key, and I kind of want to apologise because I feel like I've been kind of spreading not fake news, but kind of fake advice. Not in the way that, because it's not wrong, the things I say I do believe in, but I just feel a bit guilty and a bit hypocritical that I'm not actively doing those things myself, and I just wanted to apologise to you guys that it's been quite hard for me recently, and obviously you guys wouldn't know that, but it has, and I just kind of felt a bit low and a bit guilty about it. So that's the first thing I want to come on and say, that I do just feel a bit bad for kind of misleading you guys with the things I say, but I still believe in everything I say. It's just that I've not been doing those things and really seeking support for my mental health, and that is something that I've realised actually very recently, and I've just kind of let myself get into this deeper, darker hole. And I mean, I do preach that on those days where you do feel bad, you kind of have to sit in it, and you have to realise that, okay, this is a bad day or a bad week, and how are we going to get through this? And I've not been sitting with myself to say that I just kind of exist and I just kind of get through it, and because I think that I'm so strong when I'm not, I just kind of get upset with myself that I can't get through a certain thing that is going on in my life right now, and there is a certain thing that I can't really get past, and that affects everything right now. And since I kind of thought back to this, I don't want to say anything about it, but I think kind of when I thought back to this thing happening, I never really thought about it, and I pushed it to the back of my mind, which is kind of what I want to get onto today, about how to deal with your feelings when you don't want to deal with them. And it's going to be a very difficult episode, but I think mainly because I'm again being a bit hypocritical, because this is what I've been doing, but I just kind of want to share my kind of advice on how I've been trying to deal with it over just the last week. I mean, it's August now, and it's been going on since April, and that's 4 months now that I've been kind of trying to deal with it in very unhealthy ways, and I think that's what we're going to get onto today. So over the last 4 months, I felt myself slip, and if you know me from last year, if you've been following my podcast since it kind of started in last March, you'll know that this time last year I was pretty much just excelling in life. I had such a good summer and everything was going so well for me, and I cannot say the same about this year. And I think it's because I put a lot of pressure on myself to have a good summer like I did last year, and I knew as soon as I started kind of hoping that it would be a really good summer that it wouldn't be, because as soon as I start believing something, whether it's negative or positive, it does kind of happen, because I guess that's kind of my manifestation working itself out in the good and bad ways. And I have learned now that that is toxic in both ways, so I'm trying to find a way around not believing in everything I say in terms of that. And I know that kind of sounds really weird, but it's been not a good summer in my eyes. It's been, the weather itself has not helped, although it is getting sunnier now in the UK. So it's been, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, that I just feel so drained today, and it's because I've had a lot going on the last couple months, and my mind just needs a rest from everything, but I can't. You can't always just put everything on hold to deal with your mental health. Like, you've got to work, you've got to study, you've got to look after your family, etc. Like, you've always got something else more important, but regardless, your mental health is still the number one priority, because you cannot do anything, which is what I've learned the last few months, having slipped back into my old ways in my mental health kind of thing. Like, you can't do anything without having a strong mental health and a strong relationship with yourself, and I've definitely lost touch in that. And I I'm getting excited to move forward and to kind of get past this hump, because it's been a very long time since I've felt okay, and that is really hard to admit. And I've also not been able to kind of journal this and get my thoughts out about it. So I think that this is the best episode for me, and hopefully for you guys to listen to really understand how it does feel. And I think you guys have definitely felt like this before, when you think you're okay when you're not. So let's just go straight into it, I guess. So let's start with kind of why I've been feeling in this way, and without kind of me telling you exactly the reason for my feeling, because I don't really want to get that out anywhere, but I've just been dealing with something that's happened to me like not long ago. Well, now it's coming up to 2 years. It's definitely closer to 2 years than it is a year ago. So I have just pushed it to the back of my mind for the longest time. And I'd never thought about it until something similar happened to one of my friends. And I never thought about how I would feel if that would happen to someone else, or that kind of thing. And it's taken me so long to kind of realise that, and I've just never thought about it. And the people who I did tell about it were kind of like, you need to process this in a very, very kind of, a measured way, because it is kind of hard sometimes to deal with things when you don't want to, as you probably know. So it's been very, very hard, and I'm just lucky to have the support I do around me. And my boyfriend has been the best person ever to go through this with, and he just gives me the space I need. And especially when I can't sleep at night, he will be there to pick up the phone when I just want to speak to him for hours. And do I feel bad for that? Yeah. I had a conversation with him not long ago saying, I feel really bad that I've kind of just burdened you a bit and I've just put everything on you. But he's like, that's what I'm here for. That's what a relationship is. Like, you reciprocate it and you go through the same things together, and I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, it's been something that has been really hard for both of us, but we're pushing through it. But don't get me wrong, it has been hard, but we're here now. And again, I'm going to apologise to my friend. Always says, do not apologise on your podcast, because, you know, like, people don't care. But I do apologise for sounding very kind of dead inside today, but I just kind of wanted to get this episode out because it is something, again, that is serious, and you need to address your problems. And I think running away from your problems is the worst thing you could ever do, and that is what I've been doing. And again, I find it very hard to voice that, and I hope the people who know about what I'm going through, so especially my family, I hope that they do know that I'm in a bad space. But again, you cannot assume people will know that you're in a bad space. You have to reach out to your friends and your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you're with, whoever's closest to you. You've got to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm not okay. And I know that sounds like the scariest thing in the world, and it is, because you might not want to talk about that thing that is really worrying you, or really, I don't know, just resurfacing like an old trauma like happened to me. And it's, I don't really know how to say it, it's just a really difficult path to go down, and I just know that it gets easier as soon as you do it. It's like ripping off the band-aid. You need to seek that support, whether that's with your family, whether you want to trust someone in your family, or even just a close friend, and just say, hey, I need to talk, I'm not okay, I haven't been for X amount of time, and I really just want to get this out there, because there's only so far that journaling can go. There's only so far that recording these podcasts can go for me. It's a whole process, and I am seeking therapy, I am seeking support, and I do urge people to do that as soon as possible. If you're someone like me, however, who definitely thinks they know that they know themselves inside out, and they think that journaling is for them, and all of these mindfulness practices, kind of like the alone social practice you do, and the kind of like alone time you have with mindfulness, and how you kind of deal with emotions on your own, because it is a very important thing to learn how to cope on your own. And again, I've never been good at that. I am such a dependent person, and that is kind of the next thing I need to work on, how I always have to rely on people, because I'm such an attachment style person. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because there's many of us out there, but it is something that I need to work through, because recently I've just found it very hard to deal with these problems on my own. But if you are like me, it comes to a shock when you've realised you're not okay, even though you put in all of that work. And if, like, I think for me, the main bit that I've realised over the last week is that I've not picked up my journal, and if I have, it's to do the most sad gratitude practice ever. Like, there's 2 things written in there, And it's sad because I take up so much space on the page to write it, and I've lost a page of journaling, you know? Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny. Like, none of this is funny, but that's kind of how I get through my emotions, I guess. But that is how I noticed that things were slipping again, how journaling just wasn't cutting it for me anymore. And I turned to my boyfriend, I turned to my sister and my parents saying, hey, I need help. Like, can you help me out with this? And I am someone who will suffer in silence until it gets too much, until I'm breaking down at night, until I'm crying my eyes out. And I really do think that me and a lot of you guys, we really do need to pull ourselves together in a way that we can then move forward with seeking support in a calm way. Because a lot of the time when I break down, it's a huge breakdown and I don't know what to do, even though I've done it so many times, and I know that that breakdown feels like the worst thing in the world. For example, all the breakdowns I had about uni, and I still have them, I still don't know what I'm doing, even though work is going really well and I'm enjoying my job so much as a content creator. But I don't know, it's really hard to sometimes balance everything out, because I think right now that I should be loving life, but I'm not. Inside I'm really not. Like, on the outside I show that I am, and trust me, I do. Like, with my sister home, it's been amazing. We've spent so much time together, and it's just been very hard recently to kind of fake that, even though I haven't actively been faking it. But looking back, I've realised for the last 4 months I really have, and it's really difficult, as I said, to kind of understand this, because I thought that I'd come so far on my eating disorder recovery as well as my mental health and mindfulness journey, I guess, and because those two came hand in hand. But I think also for me, slipping is because I've kind of done with recovery now. Yeah, you're never 100% recovered from an eating disorder, but you come to a point where you kind of put in all the work, and now you just have to keep going and keep pushing those thoughts away. But because I've kind of reached that, I guess, climax point where, you know, I'm kind of just on the same level. Like, I could go down, but I'm kind of at the top now. But that's what I'm worried about as well, about slipping back into that if it does get worse. And that's something that I definitely do not want to do. But yeah, I think coming to the point where I've kind of finished recovery in a way, to a point where it's stagnant in a way. I don't know, this is an episode for another time. Like, I could do a whole episode on this, about feeling stuck in recovery. And I did do a blog post on it earlier in the year, or maybe late last year, I'm not too sure. It's been a while now, but I think getting to this point of being stagnant in recovery and just kind of ending it has kind of halted my mindfulness as well, because I always did them hand in hand. When I was like saying be gentle with myself, that meant for mindfulness and for when those ED thoughts came in. And I don't know, it's just been so much harder having not that link anymore. And I think here would be a good time to bring in the topic of societal labels. And I think that this is definitely something for me. Like, I have realised that I do love labels. I love to conform to labels, and especially when I had my eating disorder, I really wanted to get a diagnosis for what it was, because again, I was that obsessive type, I'm that addict type, I'm this just obsessive type, and I really wanted to know what my label was. And I think that that's what the society does so badly, the fact that we have to like put people into boxes, and if those people don't fit any box, then they're outlaws and they're casted out, and it's not a good thing. And I think that even someone who is, I thought I was so free and so myself, I'm really not, because I do still conform to these things, and I conform to the fact that, oh my god, I've got trauma, when everyone has trauma. I just hate that word, and I just dawned on it a bit that it's just like, yeah, I'm definitely that person that has to have a label, and I hate it, especially in a relationship. I need to know what I am straight away to the other person, and it's something, again, that I think 90% of us struggle with. And again, in another episode, I'm going to give you loads of spoilers now for new episodes to come. I'm going to be doing one on the society in particular, just kind of a broad outline of society and what needs to change. But I don't think this will change, but I do want to do a huge episode on this, because it is something very important to me, and look forward to that episode, I guess. But anyway, coming back to the point of pushing your thoughts away, it's hard, and it's really hard to kind of push all of your problems away and put them into that box locked in your mind. But that box is going to break free. It's like a beast locked into a box that is going to claw its way out, and it's going to bite you in the ass. Trust me, it's gonna come back to you. So I think if you ever are faced with a problem, whether you have right now, whether it's been going on for a while, I think the best advice I could give you as someone who is going through it at the same time as you right now would be to really ask yourself, like, do I want to get through this? And I think for me, again, with the label thing, like, I think it's fun to have a label. I think it's fun to have something that, oh, you can be sad about. If you know what I mean. Like, I know that sounds kind of like a huge reach, but in a way it's like, oh, I've got something to be sad about. It's kind of a relief, because you know when you just feel sad for a long amount of time, you're like, why am I sad? And then you figure out why you're sad. It's a relief to know why you're sad, and a relief to know that maybe you're not in it on your own. You know other people who have gone through this thing. And I find it hard to say that, actually. Like, that sounds really bad to say that. It's fun to be sad. No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it as like, there's a relief in knowing why you're sad. And I genuinely think that a lot of people don't really address why they're sad, especially, like, I know I'm on the pill, and that is, again, another episode to come, but that does definitely mess with my mental health. I came off it for a few months because it just tore me apart, especially over the winter. I came off it, and it's been fine apart from the last month, but I think that's also what I'm going through right now, is all catching up with me. The fact that my mind is like, Ellie, oh my god, please address this, because I know that I'm strong. I know I have the tools to address it now, and I'm really thankful I do. So I'm so thankful of the past year, but again, it just came as a shock to me that, you know, like, I can't process this, and maybe seeking extra support like a therapist would definitely be the best option. And I want to do that. I need to do that, because I've been putting that off, as I've said, for almost 2 years now, and I definitely need to address it in a more formal way, I think, because journaling is not doing it for me. I've tried so hard to write about it, but I cannot bring myself to it, and I definitely find talking about it a lot easier. I'm now going to address kind of the signs that I look back and think, yeah, Ellie, you've been slipping. And this might be a trigger warning to people, but I can't see it being one, but I'm going to say it anyway. So you can skip past this if you want to, if you start hearing what I talk about, but I don't think it should affect anyone, but I will just say that. And these things, like, are very normal, in my opinion. Like, I see a lot of people doing it. So over the last kind of 4 months, I've got back into drinking every night. And when I say drinking, I mean a glass of wine, not a lot of drinks. I haven't been drunk in so, like, a long time. Okay, I mean, I've had a few drinks, I've been tipsy, but I've not felt drunk in a very long time, and I don't know whether that, again, has something to do with my mood, but probably since the beginning of the year I've not been very drunk. And I mean, I've not been at uni, so that is one thing, but yeah, I just kind of feel like I need to have a glass of wine every night with dinner, but that's not a bad thing. Like, a lot of people do that. My parents have always done that. I've picked that up from them, and it's not a bad thing, but I think part of it is like, oh, I think I need that glass of wine. Like, it gets to about 6 o'clock, I'm like, oh yeah, I really want a glass of wine right now. And again, that's not a bad thing, but some days it's more than that, and again, I'm just like, do I need that? No. And I think it is a way of me coping. And another thing is that my vaping addiction has become a lot worse. And when I say a lot worse, I mean a lot worse. I'm vaping all day until I go to sleep. When I wake up until I go to sleep. And I find it very hard to go without my vape. And that's why I'm glad I did we went camping the last few days. And one of the days we climbed Snowdon in Wales. I think it's the biggest mountain in the UK. I mean, there's not many mountains in the UK, but I'm pretty sure it is the biggest one. And we climbed that, and obviously climbing up a mountain you cannot vape because you will die because of I think it's just a stupid idea to bring your vape when you're on a big walk, because you're out of breath anyway, you know. So I went about 4 or 5 hours without it, and I didn't crave it at all, so I was quite proud of that, and that's what I really wanted to do. But I mean, I've been vaping for over a year now, and I definitely need to stop. And it's got to a point where my boyfriend and I have had a really serious conversation about it, where I need to stop because it's just damaging me so much, and I'm not sleeping. My mood is always low. I'm always tired, and that definitely has something to do with the pill, but also vaping. Like, I'm going to see a huge difference when I stop, because I'm going to stop at the end of summer. I've said that to my boyfriend. For now, I'm going to continue, but I'm going to do it a bit less, and I have been recently, so I just am excited to see my bank account be happy, because vaping is a very expensive thing to do, because you go through one a day, like I go through one a day, and that is not healthy. Like, because I use disposable ones as well, so that is even worse. And yeah, it's something I'm not proud to admit. As someone who preaches about a mental health, mindfulness, wellness journey, and being your healthiest self, like it's kind of funny to me that I do this, and it's very hypocritical. So again, I do apologize if you're just finding this out, like, oh my god, you vape. And yeah, I do, and it's not something I'm proud of, and I definitely need to stop, because I think everyone's quitting, and I don't want to be the only one quitting again, because I love to conform. But yeah, it was something that I picked up, and it's just a habit now. Like, to be fair, I don't crave the nicotine, I just crave kind of like the action of like puffing like fruity air into my mouth, I guess. So yeah, it's got bad, and that's the one thing that even my boyfriend kind of has seen me do it more and more and more, and like get really anxious if I don't have my vape with me, if I lose it. You've probably seen someone lose their vape down the sofa and freak out. That is me. I'm that person, and it's not a good thing, and a lot of people kind of judge me for it, and my parents judge me for it. But for now, I'm gonna continue until the end of summer, and that's my goal. Like, but I can't get there until I kind of slow it down. Like, I can't quit straight away. I've seen people do that and it doesn't work, so I need to really change my ways. And again, that's something that I'm really not proud of. And I know even people like Emma Chamberlain has come out recently talking about her addiction, and I think it's just a trend, and I know a lot of people are quitting it now, so I'm just really gonna stop because I need to stop, because once I do that, everything will become a lot easier, I think. And I'm not saying I'm gonna stop completely forever. I feel like on nights out I'll still get one kind of thing, but yeah, I just want to fall out of the habit of vaping all day, especially when I'm working from home. It's really bad, and I go into the office once a week, and then I'm just craving it all day. But then it's actually quite nice not to vape all day, so I'm like, please put me in the office all week so I don't vape. But that's why I try and do stuff with my mum. Like, if she's going to the shop, I'll get in the car with her because I won't take my vape with me, that kind of thing. So yeah, again, probably a discussion for another time, but that is how I've kind of noticed how I've got a lot worse. Because I mean, I've been vaping like since the beginning of last summer, but it's just got more and more and more because the pill has affected me, and I just want to sleep all day, so then I just stay in my bed vaping all day, and that is not good behaviour in any way. So I need to stop. A few of the things that I think people could relate to with mental health is hygiene. I hate admitting it, and it's embarrassing, but it shouldn't be embarrassing because we all slip up. But I've just not been taking care of my skincare, my hair care, like having showers. Like, sometimes I just don't shower every few days, and I'm like, ooh, this is disgusting. And yeah, I just get into this pit of not wanting to clean my room, not wanting to like brush my teeth and stuff. And don't get me wrong, brushing my teeth I do every day, like twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day I brush my teeth. That's something that I'm quite proud of. And when I say showering, I like do a body wash at least every other day, because I used to think, oh, I'm not gonna go in the shower unless I wash my hair, which would be twice a week, which is disgusting. But no, I do shower every other day. Like, it is mostly every day, but I do need to change that. And I've already put in plan, like, I'm now gonna get back into a night routine, because I've never had a stable night routine, but I want to get back into yoga before bed, and that's 10 minutes of my time before I go to bed, just to stretch, just to have a really big mindfulness chill, because usually before bed is when I get really anxious. And again, that's the vaping, that's the what's it called, just like the lack of mindfulness and just everything building up. And I definitely need to get a night routine, and that is what I'm doing. Like, I love that it's a Sunday right now, because I've had so many thoughts about what I can do this week alone, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really need to get back into reading, and I think I will do that. And I just really want to do that, and I want to have a really chill night, because again, I've not done any exercise or anything for the last 2 days because I climbed a fucking mountain. So I'm gonna start again tomorrow. And yeah, I'm feeling better the last couple days. Like, it's getting easier processing everything, and I think that is just the best way to, for me, it's just to be kind to myself and be gentle and patient, because I can't change overnight, I can't get better overnight, and it's been a very long time since I have felt fully okay. And I've just not been sleeping. I don't want to go to sleep because the thoughts will come back as soon as I go to sleep, and it's just been a very scary time, really. And I've been slipping a lot, and So I'm going to try and stop pretending, because I've been pretending for so long, and I think that it's time to have a real conversation with someone about everything I've been going through. And I hope you do too if you're going through something like this. And I could speak for another half an hour on this, but I don't think I will, because I'm going to go around in circles, and I really just want to keep this kind of short on the 30-minute marker. And I just want you to know that if you are going through something right now, or you have been going through something for a while, like, it's okay. We all go through things, and if you think that it's worse than other people, and you think that this is genuinely something that's really bad, you need to seek support. And I know that that's so hard, but trust me, it'll make you feel better. And that's why I'm glad, like, my boyfriend is so supportive with me on this, because he says I need therapy, he says I need to speak to my mum, etc. But I don't want to right now. I just kind of want to work on it on my own for a bit and see if I can do it with actual, like, 100% effort, because I've not been doing that. And I already see the positive side. Like, this episode has been very sad and dreary, and I do know that. I'm very sorry, but I just wanted to get that out there to the world. Like, even people who are on this mental health journey, and you think that they're all, like, put together, like, that is so wrong. I'm not put together. I'm really struggling right now, but my job is going very well. I've been there for a month, and I'm very excited to where it's going to take me. So I'm just kind of leaning on that a bit at the moment, and getting really stuck into it, and trying not to get too tied up with my own thoughts. And I'm glad, like, I don't know, because it's only a part-time job, so it is kind of I guess just a bit too crazy sometimes, the fact that I'm just at home all the time, like, alone. But I'm gonna start doing things on my own as well, like go shopping for the day, like take myself out for lunch or a coffee, that kind of thing. Like, really start planning my weeks out around work, and not just say, oh, I'm working these 3 days and then the rest of the week I can just DOS. Like, no, because my mental health will be awful, and then I won't want to go into work, and that's what's been happening. So I'm gonna get back on my journey to mindfulness now, and I'm not saying that when you fall off track you need to get back on track. Like, I hate that phrase, getting back on track, but for me, I do believe that this is the case here. Like, I really do want to get back into my mindfulness, and I'm going to be gentle. I'm not going to go straight into it, and I'm going to take it day by day. But I really do think that this is going to be a really big thing for me, and as soon as I start doing it, it'll become easier. Because, I mean, building up habits takes 28 days to make a habit legit and to make it stick. And I feel like a lot of people who want to get into habits of, like, good habits of mindfulness and waking up early and reading before bed, etc., like, a lot of people think that, oh, if you do it for a week or a few days, it's going to stick. Like, no, you need to do it religiously for about a month. And for me, I'm just going to see how it goes this week. I know that's super critical, but I am going to see how it goes this week, because, I mean, working part-time, my days are all different every week depending on what I'm doing with my boyfriend or my sister or my other friends and my mum, and I need to try and make it all the same days. So I love working Monday to Wednesday. That's my favourite time. So I definitely need to, again, reconsider that. And yeah, just kind of have a plan of what I'm doing certain days. The one thing I am proud of is that I've now said to myself, every Sunday, you're going to clean your room. And when I say clean my room, I mean every other week, do a deep clean. But every week, do vacuuming and change my bedding. I need to start changing my bedding, because that is the best feeling when you have new bedding on. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And that reminds me, the washing is needing to be put out, so I'm going to go do that. So I hope you didn't find this episode too dreary, but I just wanted to kind of put this out there just to show that people aren't always doing okay, and lives are very different to what you see on social media. And yeah, that's just a friendly reminder that just be careful of assuming that people are doing well when they're not, because most of the time they're probably not. But again, life is full of ups and downs. So I hope if you're going through something that you figure it out and you seek support and you get better. It's a long journey, trust me. With anything, it's a very long journey. So I do hope you're doing okay, and yeah, seek support if you need it, and you can always message me. I'm here to help anyone. But again, I'm not a professional with anything, so just take my advice lightly. And yeah, I hope you have a good Sunday evening. I know I am, with my bath that I've got planned and my reading and my yoga. I'm definitely going to force myself to do it today, because I hit in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll start on Monday. No, just do it today. Monday, that whole thing doesn't work. Just do it today. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm very looking forward to it, and I'm going to go have a shower because, as I said, I need to shower. So yeah, I hope you're doing okay, and I'll speak to you very soon. So goodbye.